Hello YouTube, today we're talking cheat curls. So, I personally have been doing cheat curls for 7 years now, and I've done them every single week since then. So it amounts to a ton of tonnage, a ton of practice, and a ton of experience on them. I personally gained the vast majority of my bicep size doing them, meaning that the first 5 years of my training, the only thing I did for biceps was them. And when I say the only thing, I don't mean just curls, I mean cheat curls. I never did strict, ever. The only times I would recruit the biceps was with cheat curls. And the reason for that was I didn't really know that there was a difference. It might sound strange for people who have access to YouTube and the internet in general, but when I started, those resources did not exist. And so the first time I did curls, I quickly realized that the portion of the lift that was at the bottom was the toughest part, and if I could get the arm up to here, I could finish. And therefore, in my head, I personally believed that if I got stronger, then I would get bigger arms, and if I could lift more weights, then I would get stronger faster. So I just did it. I didn't really think about it, I didn't even know I was doing something cheaty, I just did. And I did that for the first 3 years, and I would cheat curls every single day, without fail, meaning that I would never take a day off. So I did some sort of high intensity, high frequency, low volume nucleus overload for my biceps. And it worked. My biceps are still one of my biggest body parts. They're very well developed. So I make this video not to encourage you to do cheat curls, because I do not want to be the type of YouTuber that promotes the way they train as something that others should follow. I recognize that it was potentially not the smartest thing to do back in the day. I just didn't know any better, and I was lucky that I never got any issues. I never had any injuries doing cheat curls, not even the slightest bit of pain ever. Does it mean that everyone is going to be the same? No. That being said, you need to keep in mind that biceps injuries, and I covered that in the injury prevention playlist, bicep injuries do not happen on the positive phase, almost never. And that's injuries in general. Usually injuries happen during the negative, usually at the end of the negative, or when you're trying to go from the negative to the positive and you're applying force to a tendon that's already overloaded and overextended. The chances of you tearing a bicep when you're here is very low. It's usually when you're here. And with cheat curls, I've made a video about it, if you know how to do them properly, the portion of the lift where the bicep is at the highest risk is the one where you're the least going to use the bicep, because you're using the entire body to get that weight up. Of course, if you don't know what you're doing, you might end up transferring too much kinetic energy to a bicep that's here, trying to curl too early and get an injury. That's very possible, but that's improper form. It would be like saying that squats are dangerous because if you let your upper back round, you can injure your lower back. Yeah, but that's poor technique. It's not the lift's fault, it's your fault. As far as cheating goes, I will make videos, most likely in the hypertrophy series or maybe the training principles series, regarding what cheating is, because a lot of people, interestingly enough, have a dogmatic view of cheating. These are the same people that usually resist cheat reps and they only want you to do strict stuff. But when they finally accept the fact that cheating might potentially help with muscle size, they still apply their dogmatism to the lift and they try to standardize it and apply rules to it. It just doesn't work like that. For example, a partial is a cheat lift because it's easier, right? Cheating is not confined within only one thing. And for many people, cheating is only helping yourself on the positive to focus on the negative. But that's not what I do with my cheat curls. I help a portion of the positive. The end of the positive is what I'm getting all of the muscle gains from. And then the negative I don't care about. That's what I do with cheat curls with dumbbells. And you can argue all you want about it, but the bicep size I have now is due to that. So there, that's all the proof I personally need. Does it mean I recommend it to people? No. Why? Because in a perfect world, we would all get big and muscular using only strict form. Why? because strict form allows to control for muscular failure, it allows to control for progression very well, and it has the lowest risk of injury. But this is not a perfect word, and at the end of the day, people are going to do what they have to do to get gains. Does it mean that you have to do cheat curls to get bigger biceps? No. Curls in general are all you need for bigger biceps. That being said, cheat curls have some advantages. For example, as I said, they take the portion of the lift that you're limited on out of the equation, which is the bottom, because when you're here and you do this, you have very little leverage on the weight. You're not able to apply the full strength of the bicep because the bicep is not really engaged yet. The front belt does a lot actually, which sometimes leads to injury on easy bar curls, for example. And you're not really working the bicep in this portion here of the lift. You're working it from here to here, past the 45-degree angle. So if you can get your cheat curls to put you in that position where you're mechanically stronger to finish the lift, in my opinion, that is a way to direct more of the tonnage towards a bicep that is also going to be overloaded with more. That's the point of cheat reps to me. It's finding a way to get a muscle in a range where it's stronger to overload it. That's why people do cheat rows. Why do people do cheat rows? When they do cheat rows, they initiate the pull with the legs so that they can finish it and then get the stretch back and initiate it again. Why? Because the lowest portion of the row is going to be the one where your lower body might be limiting you. You might end up having form breakdown, and the force that you're going to be able to produce to get that bar coming towards your belly or your chest is going to be the limiting factor. So if you want to go past that and you have the ability to do that, it might be a good thing for your upper back. All of that to say what? You will see me on this channel do things that most likely are not going to be strictly beneficial for bodybuilding, at least in a standard sense. But I've always found that certain people will have emotional attachments to lifts. This is something that is not avoidable. As long as you are able to recognize that there is an emotional part in it and an attachment to the lift, and the lift serves you well, even if it doesn't abide by the conventional rules of muscle hypertrophy, I advise you to keep them in, because why not, right? And they also have potential for certain programming functions that lots of people will not understand. For example, for me, I'm at a state right now where I'm just trying to maintain my bicep size. I don't really want to have more. So I have a sort of medium frequency, high intensity approach to them. And what better than cheat curls to do that? Because it allows me to accumulate a ton of tonnage very quickly, very easily, with no injury risk, because it's something that is ingrained in me. So that's that. I don't want to talk too much about cheat reps because I want to make a special video for that where I'm going to discuss Olympic weightlifting, which in a sense uses the entire body to cheat to get the weight up, but I don't want to spoil too much. So that's going to be that for this video. I'm not telling you to do cheat curls in general. I am saying though that you should always try new stuff. You can try it with low weight and see how it falls on your body. See how the bicep gains are going to be. Maybe you're going to experience something like me where my body responded extremely well to that, and I turned what really were very, very skinny arms into big arms, training only my biceps. So that's that. If you have any questions about cheat curls in general, let me know, and have a good day.